Hey folks, welcome to Module 2. In this module, our expert will be showing you how to post on popular JV hubs and launch calendars. So get ready to take some notes and let's jump right in.
All right, so here we've got a couple of different launch notification boards or calendars, as they're often referred to, okay? And this basically is a place to come to tell people, hey, I have a launch happening. It's happening on this date. Here's some of the basic information about it. For example, the commission and the price and what the topic is. Please come to my JV page. That's really what this comes down to. So basically, let's have a look at a couple of these here. Let's click on, well, since we used this one in the last example, let's click on this one, that niche marketing kit. So this is the launch posting or notification on Muncheye for that. And that is one of the things. This is one of the pages that drives traffic to that affiliate recruiting page that we were looking at earlier. If we click here, you'll notice it takes us right back to that page that we were looking at not too long ago in the previous lesson. So this is where the traffic comes from to get to your affiliate page. This is a known hub, okay? People know to come here. Affiliates are constantly, because affiliates make their money by mailing things. So they need things to mail. So they have a couple of hubs, and we're going to be looking at the two biggest. One is Muncheye, the other is JV Notify Pro. They have a couple of hubs that they come to regularly to fill their calendar so that they can make money. And so basically, this can vary. You'll see some people who just put a few lines here about their launch, and then their main emphasis is the link to their JV page, because that's where they really want them going. But in this case, John and Dave are taking kind of a smarter approach, and they're actually doing what we talked about in the first lesson, which is, look at that, selling on the idea of promoting this launch. They're selling. They're trying to convince them. Why should you promote? Reason number one. Boom. Reason number two. Boom. Okay, so they're doing a little bit of pre-selling here and making good use of this launch notification, this launch posting, as yet another marketing platform to get their message about their launch out, rather than just using it as a place to funnel traffic to their main JV page. Now, anybody can post a launch to Muncheye, and all it really takes is hitting the submit button, and then you get into a WordPress WYSIWYG editor that allows you to submit your own launch. And you put things like your date, the commission, the price, the name of the product, that sort of thing, and it'll generate a post just like the one we were just looking at for you. Now, the other thing you can do, you'll notice there's a little rotating header up here, and you'll notice some of these are highlighted in yellow. There's so many launches out there. It's easy for yours to get lost in the noise, and especially if you're just starting out and you're not a big name. So what these guys do is they allow you to advertise, and you can pay to have what's called a featured launch listing, which gets you that header at the top on the front page, on the home page, and gets your listing highlighted in yellow. And this is worth it. With absolute certainty, you will get lots of clicks to your JV page, lots of interest, and affiliates signing up if you advertise on Muncheye. You can't go wrong with it. There are a lot of other places where you can post and pay to advertise your upcoming launch that I would not recommend, but I can wholeheartedly say this is a good place to spend $50 or even a few $100. And basically you would go through this process of selecting certain dates on the calendar. And this is an important part of planning too. Let's say that your launch is on the 28th of February. Well, then you would want to get, see, they have this deal going on, which I think is always there. I've seen it for years. Buy 5, get 2 free. So you're basically getting 7 days if you just spend $250. You want to plan out a good ways. You want to start letting people know roughly 30 days out. Okay? And then the following week. And then the week before the actual launch, right? And then maybe the day right before the launch. Okay, you've got to get a little bit creative. If you have the ad spend available, by all means, fill lots of days prior to your launch. Okay? But don't just put them on the days directly before your launch. try to spread them out a little bit and get at least a couple way out, because you're appealing to different types of affiliates. There are affiliates who are really squared away, and right here on the 30th of January, they will already have decided what they are promoting for most of February. So you want those dates pretty early on before your launch starts. Okay? And then there's also the affiliates who are kind of squared away, and they plan okay, and you want that to be a week or two out. And then there's the affiliates who are super lazy, and they won't know what they're promoting until the night before or sometimes the day of. Okay? And that's when you want one very, very close to your launch date, or even on your launch date. So that's how Muncheye works. The next thing was JV Notify Pro. Now this is kind of similar. It's the same basic concept. However, their style is very different. This is a little bit more like a magazine or a periodical. Their layout. And you can tell they really prioritize the big names who paid money, which is a big deal. And this really helps you get your bang for your buck from your advertising. You don't see anything even remotely similar to Muncheye. Let's just have another look at Muncheye just so we can contrast it appropriately. You don't see a long list of just, text, names and product names that go on forever and ever and ever on JV Notify Pro until you get to the very bottom. And then you've got a bunch of names just in a list here. Okay? And some of them have little, VIP new next to it because they're maybe a monthly member. Okay? But the big ones are up here. And they're placed strategically the same way that an online magazine, an e-magazine, would strategically place the articles that they want to get seen. Okay? And it's again, the same basic concept, but a different style. Okay? And the way that JV Notify Pro works is you become a member, and for as long as you remain a paying monthly member, you earn points, and you expend those points on featured listings like that. Okay? In addition, JV Notify Pro really puts huge emphasis on their email blast. Muncheye, I think, still has an email blast, as well. However, Muncheye doesn't put nearly as much emphasis on it. My assumption is that it's not as big of a list or not as well read. In the case of JV Notify Pro, people are actually reading those emails when they get the JV Notify Pro email newsletter about upcoming launches. Okay, so that's another big asset, and you get featured in that if you choose to pay for a featured listing. And once again, it's the same basic thing. When your listing is featured, somebody clicks on it, that will bring them to your JV page. Now, this is a little bit different. This is not a listing on JV Notify Pro, although there are listings on JV Notify Pro. But this, what they actually do for the featured listings when you click to them, is they have an iframe where they have the JV Notify Pro branding up here, and then they just have your JV page underneath it, within their page, within their iframe. That's pretty neat. And there's still a link up here to discuss this launch in the JV forum. And if you click over there, that's where a listing is inside of the forum portion of JV Notify Pro, and you can get some engagement there if you want to, and you can have a lot of the more typical information in here. So that pretty much sums it up. Muncheye, JV Notify Pro, both definitely two places where you definitely want your product launch listed, and you probably want to fork over a little bit of cash as well to make sure you get the maximum benefit of posting here. Now, this is sort of mass marketing to people who are already looking for launches, and you want them to see yours and come to your JV page, but there's another side of affiliate recruiting, and that is you proactively reaching out to them individually, one-on-one, and that's what we'll cover in the next lesson.
All right, welcome to Module 3. In this module, our expert will teach you about one-on-one recruiting, which is vital if you want to get bigger name affiliates on board. So get ready to take some notes, and let's jump right in.
All right, guys, so in this lesson, we're going to be tackling one-on-one JV recruiting. So you actually proactively going out there and tackling these guys and trying to get them one-on-one. Now, the best way to start doing that is going to be to figure out who in your niche are the top dogs. Who do you want on your, what we'll talk about later, is called a headhunter's list. And I personally like to always start with leaderboards. I go look for a previous launch that ended at some point in the last several months, and I go find their leaderboards. This is for one called Commission Magnets. And what do you know? Right at the top, we've got John Thornhill and Dave Nicholson. So I immediately, as a vendor, know that, hey, wow, these guys can move some traffic. These are people who I want to reach out to. So what do I do next? I come on over here to a spreadsheet, which is my headhunters list. And I basically start compiling a list of the big name affiliates who I want to reach out to. So I'll go ahead and put John Thornhill's name in there. And the first thing I do is I start Googling and Facebooking John Thornhill to see him and to find him and see what he's all about. Now, in this case, he happens to be in my network. We're friends, so I can reach out to him with a message. So what I'm going to do is grab the Facebook URL for John, and I'm going to put it next to him right here. Okay, so basically we have name, contact info, and status. All right. Status will be blank until I reach out to him. And then, if I reach out to him, I'll just update this as message sent. And if he replies and says, maybe I'll get back to you, I'm going to put that right here. And I'm going to have a whole long list of names right here that I compile from researching who the big names are in my niche, finding out where they are and how I can contact them and reach out to them. Okay? And then keep track of how it's going. All right? For your first launch, you should go all guns blazing and get as big of a headhunter's list as you possibly can. Now, when you finally reach out to someone, you need to do it in a very thoughtful manner. You can't just say, hey man, will you promote my launch? That's actually a running joke in the industry. All right, the hey bro, will you promote my launch? All right, you have to be a little bit careful about how you word it. Now, there's a couple of extremes. There's some people who actually enjoy when you pretend that you want to be their best friend. So you spend a week making small talk with them. How are you? How are things? Great to connect with you. And then you go and you like their posts on Facebook, even if you don't actually like them. You like their posts on Facebook. You comment on their posts. You try to build some, basically fake rapport. There's other people who have more of a realist and pure business approach, who prefer that you just come straight out and say that you have a product launch that you want them to look at. And they don't like the fake friendliness. And then there's a middle ground, where some people think that you should establish some type of relationship beforehand and maybe offer something in advance, rather than, on the one hand, pretend to be a friend, or on the other hand, just come straight out and say, hey bro, promote my launch. Okay, so there's two extremes, and then there's the sort of middle ground where things are a little bit more gray. And what we're going to do is this. We're going to do a very soft pitch, a very soft exploratory message first, asking if it's okay to bug them with a JV invite. Hey John, any chance I can bug you with a JV invite for an upcoming launch? I think it would be a great fit for your list and would love if you could have a quick look when able. We'll send that. Hopefully he replies. If he doesn't, you can follow up another way later on. If he does and says, sure, send it over, you reply something like this. Great, thanks. Basically, it's a product that XYZ, tell him about the product. I think your audience would like it because, sell him on the idea. Here's the JV page. Send them to your JV page. Plenty of swipes and promotional materials to make use of there. Let me know what you think. Now, if you're just starting out, you're probably not going to get a reply after that. It's not because they hate you. It's just the way the world works. They're busy. They've got a lot of things going on. You're not at the top of their priority list, so you might not hear back. So you'll probably have to follow up, and here's how you follow up. Hey, John, just following up here in case you've had a chance to have a look. What would it take to get the great John Thornhill on this launch? Can I offer you 65% on the main OTO? That's how you ought to be doing it, offering something in return for them promoting your launch, offering something special. If they're top tier affiliates, hey, who cares if you have to give away 75% on one of the OTOs and 100% on the front end? You're getting a top tier affiliate on your launch. Okay, so be willing to do that. But this is probably the best exploratory approach to take when cold calling, if you will, someone about a JV invite and an upcoming product launch. Now, depending on what the answers were there, I could update status and say, thinking about it, right? And then the goal here is to eventually have one long list of JVs who you are headhunting, trying to get on your launch. And over the course of about a month, you want to start about a month prior, like we talked about in the previous lesson when you're posting your launch on those notification and launch notice boards. You want to start about a month prior, and you're going to spend a month doing the grueling work of working these guys on your headhunters list, following up with them, updating them as you get closer to the launch, reminding them to have a look, offering them incentives. Hey, can I reciprocate? Hey, can I put a bonus that leads to one of your free products, to one of your lead pages in my members area? Hey, can I stick your products in my autoresponder for day 2, 3, and 4 after people buy? That sort of thing. You know, put a little bit of yourself out there, offer to do something in return so that they see more value in helping you out. And if you do that right, hopefully you'll have some success with one-on-one affiliate recruiting. But be prepared. When you're first starting out, depending on what niche you're in, be prepared. You're going to get a lot of cold shoulders. That's just part of life. Don't let it get you down. Just keep moving forward. Trade up the ladder. You know, you might only get, low to mid-level affiliates on board for your first launch, and then your second product launch, you'll get some higher ones out there because your brand has more recognition now. That's just sometimes the way it works. So keep your chin up throughout the whole process. Keep hustling, trying to get those affiliates on board, and you'll be all right.
Hello, and welcome to this course on affiliate recruiting. In this course, we're going to cover how to skyrocket your traffic and sales by recruiting affiliates. This course is divided into 3 modules. Module 1 covers creating a JV or affiliate page. Module 2 covers posting on popular JV hubs and launch calendars. And Module 3 covers one-on-one recruiting. By the time this course is over, you'll know how to effectively rally an army of affiliates to send traffic to your offers. So without further ado, let's dive into the first module.